against Jet BBO, who I
Hmm.
was staying with, if you know Jet.
I don't think I do.
Jet's a freak. He's super good. And then yeah, so I got like 17th, I think. And then in doubles, me and Jake got 5th, and we lost to the top two seed. So it wasn't
Oh,
that bad.
nice. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, well, it sounded like you did pretty well.
Yeah, it was fine. I made it out of pools, but it was just Mickey Mouse because there were a lot of top player DQs.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like seeded to play the one seed um in like quarters, uh, which was Moff, and Moff DQ'd. And so I pretty much just like really badly 3-0'd my first three opponents and then was played egg. And even if I lost that set to egg, it was top 24.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like I didn't. It was like I really just like didn't get challenged at all, and then just had like just got 3-0'd by egg and lost to Jet 3-1.
Yeah.
I was trying to find my egg VOD because I that one was interesting. I like got four stocked game one, and then game two and three were like last stock. But I just he was just way better than me.
Mm-hmm. Who does Zach
Um,
play?
Egg is a MDVA PR cheek.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah, they're good. I think they got ninth.
Sheesh.
But yeah, I think I sent you the VOD, right?
Yeah, I was pulling it up.
It's a
Um,
quad stream, but the audio is of my set. I think I'm sending you like the game four.
yeah, I got to the beginning.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, I'm just the one in the top right. But
Okay. Do you have any thoughts on this set?
yeah, actually, the big thing is that like just like recently I've played like a couple of foxes, um, that are just like super fast, and I'm like starting to feel the thing where it's like, all right, like I'm trying to start beating the next tier of players, and like the speed thing is becoming a factor again.
Mm-hmm.
And I I don't know. I really want to like figure out how to deal with that and like I want to like be that fast. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
I was playing so like I play Jet all the time. Um because like he's a homie and he's just like he's super fast. He like I've played so many like top 100 foxes that feel slower than him. And then like I was playing like RC on like Melee Online, and like that dude it was like the same thing, and it just feels like when I play certain foxes um that are like super fast, um I'm so bad at like the aerial war that like you know what I'm saying, like the
Mm-hmm.
fox that like when you're both on the ground, like they're really not afraid to just like do really well spaced nairs and drills, because like whatever the scrap is after that, they're just going to be able to like react to it and get a clean opening like so much more than you are. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's kind of the way I generally feel against foxes that fast. And I don't know. I don't know if it's like it feels like it's mainly like a drift thing and like a spacing thing, but it's also just like their shit is gonna just come out frame one, and like they're doing that drill at that spacing to where like I'm gonna try to grab it and I'm gonna get shined, or like just all of that, you know. And it just
Mm-hmm.
feels really like it feels like if I play someone of a certain speed and like general skill level, like I really don't have a shot. Like I feel like I can upset like a way better player that is like less fast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I can like figure it out and adapt, but it's just like I can't keep up with like all the decisions and scraps when someone is like just that fast. I have to get like kind of like lucky and like hit extremely hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. That's my thoughts.
That makes a lot of sense. I have felt similarly in the past when, like, man, if someone's not going super fast, I feel like I can make reasonable decisions and be smart and like play interactions
Yeah.
out with them. But when they're going at super speed, it's just like, what the fuck do I do? So I definitely I think how you feel is valid and is very real. I think just without watching, um, this might have been something I've said before. I don't remember, but the main feelings I have towards it are like you. I think you can match their speed, and that is like a valid approach. But I do think it is hard to do that, depending on how you want to approach the game generally. And so it's like, I think the fact that you have the experience where like against better players, you feel like you could figure them out actively and like be able to contend if they're not playing as fast. That makes me feel like you are probably playing like intentionally and being deliberate and like thinking, right? And I think with that specific like skill set, it is very hard to ever play as fast as like the really fast players, because I think a big thing for those players is that they're less worried about like the overarching details, and they're just super duper hyper focused on making sure that they are like doing something in like a relevant situation as fast as they can to like either catch people off guard or like get like a sneaky reading or something like that. And so like if they're spending less time, actively thinking or whatever that may mean, then I think that means that they'll kind of just naturally be able to process faster than you. Um
No, yeah, it's like it's something that I've actually talked about with a lot of people where it feels like every step of the way I have like had the least amount of tech skill possible to like be at that skill level. Like I've always just feel like I've been more of like a like brain focused player and like thinking type of player versus like wanting to like you know what I'm saying, like I can tech chase, but like beyond that it's like mad simple. That's like how I
mhm.
try to that's how I've tried to keep it like every step of the way. Like there's like fucking like one tour, two tour foxes that press more buttons than me in Georgia, you know. But like I I I like I kind of I kind of feel like like I I can just keep doing that, but I feel like this kind of style is just going to be a hard counter for me for a while if I don't pick it up to some
Mhm.
degree.
Mhm.
Um, and so like one thing that I really want to think about is like something that I've thought about when I play people like this is like routes.
Yeah.
Like like let's say I'm trying to throw out something like right right in center like past a platform. Like instead of running off the platform towards center and doing an aerial, they're like dash dancing on a platform and like shield drop, waveland up tilting. Like they're just like doing more sophisticated options um in the like critical spots where people want to like throw out hitboxes. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like I think that is like a huge part of like what they do that like although I kind of agree with you that like whenever I see super fast button pressers, I'm like, there has to be like gaps everywhere. It's just overwhelming. Like that's how I feel. I feel like, I kind of want it all, like
Mhm.
I want to be able to like maintain that like deliberate style that I think I have and still, you know, be able to just press a lot of buttons, but like just
Mhm.
be maybe a little bit more deliberate about it. Maybe the result will be like that I look a little less fast, but I want to be able to have that like pace in me. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Ultimately, I think something about playing fast that I think people don't talk about is that at the end of the day, playing fast doesn't even necessarily mean that you're pressing a lot of buttons. It means that you're making decisions quickly. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of the people who play fast press buttons fast, like Plop or Cody Schwab. And I think it's good to press buttons fast. It's good to do either one. Doesn't really matter. But I think a perspective shift in that case might help like make it be more clear, because I think it is super possible, and many people do it, where they make smart intentional decisions very quickly. Like Plup. Plup, almost every decision he makes is super fast, but like 99% of
Aristotle
them
is
are good.
yeah, yeah.
uh I think
No, and that's the thing too. It's like when I play players that are fast and have clearly like made it to the point where they're like able to get like top 100 wins and stuff like that, and like just be super strong players. Like clearly they're not just button pressers.
Yeah.
Um, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's how I feel. That's how I feel about Jet. Jet just literally doesn't enter. He just like beat 3-0'd Panko last time they played or whatever.
Sheesh.
But um, I don't know. That's where I'm at. Well, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
did the stream disappear?
Did it? It's. I could restart it. Let's see. Okay, can you see it now? Hello. Oh, oh, did you leave and rejoin? Oh, okay. I had no idea. I don't have noises on. Okay, hello.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Sorry. No, my shit was just acting weird, so I did it, but so I restarted.
Mm.
Um,
Okay. What I was gonna say is, I think the way to approach like speeding up and like being able to contend with, or like I guess what makes the fast players, what makes them able to play fast, I think is that when they look at situations or positions, I think they tend to view them more generally, and then they try and pick like generally good options that cover a bunch of different like bases. And so like say using the example that you used before where it was like their dash setting on the platform and then they did shield drop, waveland up tilt, and it's like I would think of that option. It could be a specific read, but given the context, I'd probably assume it was going to end up being more general. And why it is good generally is the waveland moves you to a different spot, so there's some level of unpredictability, and you could use that to influence whether you think they're going back or forward, right? Whether they're going to go into the corner to try and hit you, drop them from the platform, or if they're going to stay in center, right?
yeah.
And then the up tilt's just a pretty good move because it covers both the ground and the air pretty effectively and is fast enough to where if they were not specifically looking for it, then you're probably not going to get punished or end up in that bad of a position, at least in the Ditto. Um, and so with that, it's like, oh, that's a pretty good general option, and it's fast, and it lets him at least. I think it's funny because it actually like creates like a reaction point too, where it's like, oh, I do the up tilt, and then I just get to scope out what happens. You know, I hit confirm if it hits, and if it doesn't, I could just kind of quickly check where they are on the screen, not worry too much about maybe what specifically they're doing, and then be able to play the position afterward too.
Yeah.
And so if you want to like play faster, I think that could be like a valuable way to approach it in the future. And if you want, we could talk about it here too and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. For the stream, for some reason it's saying like unavailable to watch while connected, and then I can't see the rest of the fucking error message, but it's just like
Hmm.
I see that you're streaming, and for some reason it's not letting me. Oh, I see what it is. I see what it is.
Okay, you're unmuted.
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
No, you're
It
good.
like it auto connected me to PS5, my PS5. Oh my god. Yeah, I think someone's gaming on my PS5 and it just put me on there.
That's funny.
Um Okay, sorry about that.
You're good.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah, we can just watch this. I'm pretty sure game one I get like fucking four stocked, and then I win game two, and then game three and four are also like ugly but less ugly.
okay. Let's get into it then. Damn, that was so invincible. I
Oh
totally
yeah, dude,
thought that never would hit.
those ledge dashes are fucking real, man.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. You play people that clean, and it's just like wow, like these situations where I'm like, this is fine, just aren't fine.
Mm-hmm. Fine. You get hit. Yeah, you shine, and then he reads you, and then it kind of spirals. Get ledge dash. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there
Dude,
wasn't
why are they?
much to comment on that stock, but I do feel like the fact that the obvious thing is, oh, you wake up shined and that's why you died. But I think like I in spots like these, I think it's pretty important to like understand the archetype of the player you're playing against, and so then you could get like a read on how they'll play these kind of scrambles where they're not like just gonna true combo you, you know? Because I feel like for the people that are typically considered fast and stuff, oh, oh no, um, okay, okay.
Yo, you can't beat these. I'm in a fucking Billy lesson, and I keep getting disconnected and can't watch the stream for this lesson. You keep connecting to the fucking PS5. Six fucking times. Jesus Christ.
Okay, let me. Okay, hello.
Hey.
Okay, hello.
Okay.
What was the
Sorry
last
for
thing
all
you
that.
heard? No, it's totally fine. I get it.
No, I could hear you the whole time, but whenever they connect to it, it just immediately cuts off my visual of the stream.
Ah, okay, okay,
And that's
that
why
makes
I was able
sense.
to talk to you before, but I like just couldn't watch the stream. I just told them they were just like, "Oh, my bad." So we're good.
Okay.
Um, so I heard you just talking about like there was like there was pretty much no issue with that stock. That's like all I heard.
Yeah, yeah, there's no issue with the stock, but I think what ended up, being objective about it, you died because you tech and play shined and you got red. But I think there's something more important to take away from it where in spots like these where, you know, there's potential for a true combo, maybe it's hard, and a lot of people play it in different ways. Maybe they'll play mix ups instead of going for like true combos or whatever. Maybe they'll go for pressure, depending. Like a tech chase spot is a super common one. And I think in these kinds of spots, it is probably a good thing to have like a strong grasp on the archetype of the player you're playing against. And this is literally the first game, so I can't even like blame you. But I think it is valuable for like you
No,
know
you can.
other
I have like
situations.
I have like hours and hours against him. I stayed with him. You can see we're both fucking like sky guys. We're both like in the same crew.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I know what kind of player he is. I just have not figured him out, dude.
Yeah, and I think since with everything you've told me about him, I feel like without even like having ever seen him play, I 100% knew that he was just going to read Tech and Play Shine and kill you. And I think that to give like a general, you know, overview is the players that are fast, I think, are way more scramble inclined, which you stated already, meaning that they're probably not going to go for true combos on hard tech chases. And so then that means that you probably have to like change the way you play in the scramble to either actively prevent them going for their read or just hit them directly or stuff like that. And I think a lot of spots like these are the ones where the gaps technically exist, you know?
Yeah.
I think there'll be more like neutral type situations where it'll end up being a lot more obvious that like they're kind of banking on the fact that you'll end up confused or like you'll delay your action in some way and then they'll be able to like do whatever they want, taking advantage of that. Um
Yeah, no. The thing is like what in my brain, right? I'm like, all right, well, like, is he just gonna like hit me with a falling up air to retech in place? Like, let me shine. Like, if I tech roll to the corner, like I'm getting like running double shine. You know what I'm saying? Because like
mhm.
but I think like the way I like tech in place just because it feels like I know when I tech in place, it feels like there's more likely a stutter step coming,
Yeah.
or an immediate thing. Like if I do tech rolls, I just respect the tech chase, especially on smaller stages where I don't really have the option to kind of like DI in a way where I can get a full tech roll and be safe.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like I'm just gonna like tech in place and like maybe I'll like nair on wake up or drill on wake up, shine drill on wake up, dash back, but like he's just gonna like he's definitely got like a great grasp on like I'm just gonna dash dance right fucking here, and you know that I'm fast enough to hit you immediately, so you're gonna be scared and do something immediately.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you like the thing, it's kind of one of those things where it's like there's already that like layer of like respect for the basic tech chases that like like he can just tech chase me, or he's gonna like dash dance for a second and go for a high reward option, which he does here with the up smash.
Mhm.
So like whenever I feel like there's that much like variety in the punish, I don't really. It feels like guessies.
It is guesses, but it's also educated guesses because people do things like habitually, right? It's like
Yeah.
they people everyone has like three things that they cycle through for situations or four things, and like they generally tend to like trend in a specific direction or like type of style. And I mean, in terms of tech options, it doesn't really matter what tech you do here. You'll get, you'll be in a situation regardless. But I think after the tech is the important part. And I think talking about it, you kind of solve the situation where it's like, yeah, he'll dash dance right in front of me and know that he'll be able to do something faster if I like stutter step it all. But I think that is the solution. He's going to be doing something right here that isn't just hitting you on wake up. And so that means you have enough time to be like, I'm going to run up and shine, or I'm going to run up smash, or I'm going to,
Mm,
nair, right?
yeah.
Like that is the solution. Every time anyone almost ever does any sort of delay option where they're banking on you whiffing or like being
Fuck our
scared, that means you can just hit them. That just means you can
Yeah.
hit them.
Yeah.
And against these types of players, I think that is like a super easy check. Because there's going to be some players that play fast like this and they'll just tech chase. I mean, Moki's one of those players. But then there's a lot of them that aren't going to always be super confident in the tech chase. And then they'll play a scramble. And those are the ones that you just get to bomb. It's like, oop, I just hit an up smash at 0%. You get combo to death now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, there's no saving this one.
Yeah. The punish gap is just too strong.
Yeah. It's a good combo, too. It's fine. Oh, I think that was greedy. 0% Fox, functionally 0% Fox, kind of on the other side of the stage, you just whiffed. I feel like from his perspective, he sees you whiff that grab, and he's like, okay, he's probably going to be in defense mode, because he whiffed, I'm actionable. He's going to do something to attempt to stop you from moving forward, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and so of course he's gonna wait. And I think this is also a big part of the fast thing is a lot of these players are really in tune with like the flow of the game. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
he whiff, he defend, I attack, that kind of stuff. And they're really good at like taking advantage of it. And I think you need to be super diligent about like understanding what they want to happen if you want to prevent this.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this is really good, actually. Like the first, what you're telling me about, like if they're doing the delay option. So like in a situation where like someone thinks I'm in defense mode, I need to be comfortable throwing in like the opposite. I need to like fucking, oh, I whiffed a grab. Let me just fucking call out a dash back with a fucking up smash, or
Yeah.
like just like be comfortable, like really like, you know, playing on that, like playing like a step ahead almost,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I really think in these spots, it is more important than against any other type of player to be like, I am going to make a very intentional decision. I'm going to make a decision that reads something instead of just like, I should defend or I should
Generally,
attack.
yeah, because like that wave dash up tilt is just a general like, if he's trying to like come through and center it all, hopefully that'll, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's a good point.
That is how you counter them without like being able to match their speed is you have to like really be in tune with what they want.
Yeah, I want to see how I play this knockdown. I probably fucking like die, but
That's good.
no.
Oh, bad shield drop there. It was a good shield, but I think you had to full hop.
Okay.
Yeah. At this point, you realize he whiffs the shine and he's wave dashing. It doesn't really matter if he's wave dashing, but you see that he shines and it's like, you can't go to the ground here because he's going to be in this area. You need to jump.
Yeah,
Oh, the double jump was a bit too early. It's fine.
I love the space, the way that drill like hit me while I was on plat, but still drifted back was like so nice.
Yeah.
It made it to the ground. Yeah, that's so good.
Sure. I think also one thing that might help. This is the first game, and I'm sure you're not super warmed up or like prepared necessarily, but I
Dude,
think.
it was fucked up, man. It got pushed back from 11 a.m. to 10 a.m. and the venue
Oh,
opened at fucking 9:30. So instead of me being able to get there an hour early and fucking play Maelstrom, who I'd talked to about warming up with, I got to fucking get there immediately and just fucking
sit down and
play.
play. Yeah.
Yeah, we like drove together, fucking picked up Bojangles, and then he fucking destroyed me. Like that was the vibe.
Oh, that's dude. Pushing tournament schedules back is like that should be illegal. That's a bannable offense.
Yeah, I don't know. The scheduling was a little scuffed this tournament. It's, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
That's how it goes. Tournaments beat tournaments. Not much to do about it. But I think you it what happens is I felt like watching this situation, you were kind of like you're kind of confused and you're like, I need to make decisions because if I don't, I'll get hit, but I'm not sure what to do, so I'm gonna try and like work something out. But I feel
Yeah.
like whenever you realize you're in that kind of like limbo zone where you're not actually able to do what you want and you're just making decisions, you have to like find some way to ground yourself. And what I
Hmm.
always do is it's like, you know, I do this full hop drill. I'd be like, that was horrendous. And I would sit there and shield, wait for him to hit my shield, and then roll away. Like, and then the roll away is like, okay, I'm out. I'm actionable in a normal way. I get to reset. And that's not like
Yeah.
an all encompassing example, but I think having like realizing that weird shit is happening and finding the most effective path to like escape will help a lot because these players also love it when their opponents start like fumbling. When the fumble happens, they're ready to read you, you know?
Yeah. I think what will be productive is actually like watching the game that I won, because I couldn't tell you what I did that was good that led to me winning.
Mm-hmm.
But like I was able to take a game, but then like the other games look like this game, and so it's just, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's funny, like whenever I talk to him about this stuff, he's like he he's like his answers, it lines up with what you're saying. Like his answers for what he did and what I did wrong are so general.
Yeah.
It's always just like, yeah, man, like game two, I just felt like I was just like approaching you, and you just like punished me every time I approached you. So I just like waited a little bit, and then you approached me, and I'm like, okay. It's just like so much more general than the way I think about things. I'm just like, I try to get so fucking specific, you know?
Yep. I mean, it streamlines the process. That's how they're able to make decisions. If it's simple, it's clean.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's interesting. I haven't thought about this. I'm so locked in the way I think about things. It's kind of cool to try to think about how players of that variety think about this.
Yeah, it might be valuable maybe to take things from them if you find, oh, that thing's cool. I kind of like how that situation played out or how we played it. Maybe I'll take that piece of his brain and apply it to my play. You
Yeah,
could always be
yeah.
the mix. That's the cool thing is you never have to be the thing you always were. You could just mix and match whatever if it works well.
No, dude. I'm just trying to be Panda Fox. That's all I want to be. So
I think Panda's
Panda
good at
cool.
that too. Panda actually is a good mix because I think he's really good at being specific, but he's like on a switch. I think in neutral, he generally tends to play looking at things more broadly, and then the moment like a specific situation happens, he's like going for reads. So I
He's
think,
going general. Yeah,
yeah.
dude. That's literally exactly what I want. That's like exactly the kind of Fox that I'm into.
Yeah. Let's just finish this game. I think you've just been in scramble hell, and I really don't have much to say.
It's kind of like that sometimes, man.
Yeah, it's just I don't
And
know.
then I get knocked down, and like every single knockdown that he gets me, I'm just getting fucking yeah. He like read me too, I think, and just fucking
Yeah, there like could be something to say about defense because there have been spots where like you've been able to defend, but maybe you haven't done the best thing. But I don't know. I think it's more important to like be able to find comfort in weird situations and then get out rather than like always being like I need to have perfect defense in all these spots because at the end of the day, if you're not able to like be comfortable in them, you're probably not going to be able to like view them well enough to make good defensive decisions. So,
yeah.
yeah.
I kind of need to be able to just hang first, you know.
Yeah, I think being able to hang and not being overwhelmed by it is like a massive first step.
Dude, that
Yeah.
ledge dash after he grabbed ledge was so fast. Like I can't believe I grabbed ledge after that.
Good scramble. Oh, probably up
Oh,
smash.
it's definitely a yeah.
Good shield. Probably not. I actually don't like Shine Drill on Wake Up, honestly.
He does it a lot.
I think it's not that great because it's like I kind of feel like if they're waiting for Shine, anything they would do to hit you out of Shine just like auto times itself for like Shine aerial stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they're gonna up smash my Shine. Up smash is gonna beat Nair and Drill. It's just gonna beat it no matter what. Or it's like they're dash sensing in front. They're just gonna wait. The timing just lines up perfectly to where nothing great happens. So I'm not the biggest fan of doing it against Fox specifically, but I think there's some times where it does make like the closer they are, the more it makes sense to do.
Yeah.
But he felt pretty far there. Back air high. It's over. Grab ledge. Oh, you could have side beat. You didn't grab ledge fast. Okay, let's see what
Yeah.
happens in game two.
I don't know. At that point, though, that's kind of
I mean, it's
my
not like it
boy.
would have changed much. It's fine. I think the up B was reasonable. Nice. Nice. Oh, this is a hard combo because he could DI in so many ways.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, let me just go for the back air and the pressure. But sometimes when you're done playing really good players and they pressure them, like players that are good at dealing with pressure, like that fast, like him, I'm like, I guess I'll go for pressure. Maybe I'll just reset.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little scary.
Yeah.
It's a little scary to kind of pressure someone that's like that much more comfortable being that close to me.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Um, I guess in terms of the combo, it makes sense that you wanted to dash right instantly in case he'd be out of the way because he'd be further away. But I think you actually can delay your dash for a few frames, so you could actually react to the DI. Because if you saw that he did like this DI where he went straight up, you probably would have been like, "Let me dash back, then dash forward, and then back air him towards
Reverse
the
back
right."
air.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I think there are. This is one of the spots where since he's higher percent, you actually can spend like an extra 2 frames just standing still, so you could actually check the DI. Like going faster doesn't make it work any better. Oh, that shine doesn't work. Good. Oh, that was a good bait, but I think you weren't playing out of it super well, or weren't ready to play out of it well.
Yeah, I think I just shined a little late. Like I think I fast fell for a second and then shine where I meant to just like immediately shine bear.
Yeah, I think this spot,
Sometimes-
what makes this shine like different is that this isn't a true combo shine. So what I normally do is I shine way up here because it catches double jump.
Yeah.
And so then if he double jumped, which he did, it would have just caught him way up here. And I don't care about hitting down here because if he goes down here, I'm just going to shine double jump back to stage anyways and be safe. So
Yeah.
I almost always shine early there because this spot is really bad. Because if he backered earlier, you get clean hit, he falls to the ground, you're falling here, he forward tilts a side B, and you literally die instantly. Like, you can just die. Good waveland back, but you weren't ready to dash. Nice. You got out of this scramble. I feel like you played this scramble super comfortably. The other ones, something weird like this happening where...
I feel so much more comfortable with length on the stage. That's the thing. That's the thing. Like I can kind of hang a little bit on FD, Pokemon, and Dreamland.
Mhm.
Like on the Dreamland game, I got like 3 stocked, but the game looks so much less like 9/11.
Mhm.
Like, but on like Yoshi's FOD, the games are just they just look unplayable.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to. I will probably have time for the Yoshi's game too, which is the one after this. That's where he counterpicks me.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think that's why I just knowing that I have all this space to dash back and I can choose to kind of just like give space, but in return I get time to think and time to really assess what's going on.
Mhm.
Like I can make it work when I have that. But when I know that I'm one dash back away from like the corner, I'm fucking sweating the whole time.
Mhm. I think you should use shield more. You should have faith in shield and CC. Fox
Yeah.
struggles dealing with shield and CC, and I think forcing him to actually, because one thing I guess I haven't mentioned this, but with the pressure players, I think one thing about the pressure players is they don't actually like hitting you directly very much because hitting people directly opens up too many things where like situations could go wrong randomly, you know, and so they generally tend to stray away from hitting you super directly. And so if you're shielding and crouching, that makes it where the only way they could possibly hit you is to hit you directly. And if they're not doing that, then that means you probably just get a free out, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think really having faith in CC and shield will help, which is exactly what happened here. He hits you with the nair, you slide off the platform, and you just fall in shield, and guess what? You're out scot-free. And then you get to
Yeah.
full hop the platform, right? Good shield. Oh, you're stuck. And then you rolled in. You got scared.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I literally like I remember like immediately after I got up smash for that roll, I was like, I can't believe I did the thing.
Yeah, I think the
The
jab
roll
was
was
the
such a
mistake.
bad like he gave me so much space. It was just so noob.
Yeah, I feel like the full hop, I think your idea of what could happen in the match is different from what's actually happening, and that disconnect is making it where like spots like these where I think this full hop is chill. Not that many bad things could actually happen, you know? But you were
Yeah.
just super terrified after landing and are like, I got a jab, I need to like make sure I don't get hit immediately. And then you end up doing the roll because you're in lag. And it's like I think also being able to align your idea of the game and also what is exactly happening will help a lot because these players also function off the baseline of them being able to scare you. But you should
Yeah.
only be scared when they're actually able to hit you, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. Probably not the best side B. Hmm. I feel like after the snare, I think you're also kind of getting baited into the thing where it's like, okay, time to fight. And then
Yeah.
you just kind of lose because you're not like you're not being super intentional about actually starting the fight. It's like, oh, I nared and I whiffed and he's in the corner. I guess I'll go in and fight now. But it's like, I whiffed that nair and I'm like, I'm chilling. I don't need to fight him. He's gonna come to me, you know.
Yeah. I really just get mind cubed.
Dude, I mean, it's Fox is so good at mind cubing people. He's so powerful.
Dude, if I hit that teeter, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know how to do those. That was bad. That would have been fun if I did that.
Oh, you are tweaking. You're trying too hard to like play up. I think you're like, I have to be smart, you know. But
Yeah.
I think the first one was fine, but then afterward it would have been like, you could have at least seen that he jumped and been like, okay, well I could move, I could start dashing safely. He can't hit me because he's jumping. And then the second one, you should have been like, okay, well he's dashing he's dashing back, he's further away, so now I get to dash. And then the third one, it's like you're too far to actually be able to move forward here, and so then he just kind of hits you, you know.
Yeah. Dude, sometimes we talked about this a lot. This is another thing. Oh, this is actually one of the more one thing that I actually kind of wanted your opinion on. We talked about how it's like the terms we use were really dumb, but like it's very much like I feel like I've been told this by a lot of players that play me that they feel like I play like a like gentlemanly game. And like
Mm-hmm.
what they meant by that is that when I play against a player, rather than like having a way that I want to impose my will on the game, I want to assess how the other player plays and like play around them and like beat them for how they play their game. Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I don't like come in and be like, "Oh, like I want to like this is a Fox Ditto, like I want to make this happen in the Fox Ditto." Like that isn't what happens. Like I am constantly to like all my energy is like what are they doing and how do I like exploit that? But I don't really have like really like distinct like this is how I like destroy this player. And it's like I notice that too when I'm playing bad players too. Like sometimes if I'm playing like someone that's a lot worse than me and I'm like if I want to like four stock them, I can't like run at them and four stock them. Like even
Mm-hmm.
like a shitty fox, like I'm like not good at that. I can't like just like run at them and just like boom them the way like a better player would be able to.
Yeah.
Like instead, I have to like wait for them to do like something really shitty and then I will destroy them. But like it's just like a constant like thing where like I want to be able to like really like put some sort of like my stamp on like this is how I want this to go. And I feel like that is such a like inherent thing that I can do as Fox that I don't think I do in like any matchup. And
Mm-hmm.
like I play Foxes like him and it's just like so clear that like w- right out of the gate we are playing like his game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know how to like rectify that. And I'm just talking with him and he's like low key, he's like it's honestly just like a like you just like play enough and like have an understanding of the game and that you have like a style that's defined and you can kind of like throw your like aura on the game and it just kind of like has this effect. But like I really don't feel like I feel like so clearly you can like see like whose game we're playing.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a common thread across like all matchups for me. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
The main thoughts I have are, I think that so to end up as the person that's like able to, it's like, oh, I'm gonna flip the switch and run over the noob, right? For example, to like be able to like exert yourself in that way. I actually think it means that first off, you need to have like a pretty strong baseline of just like, oh, these are the important interactions, and here's how I'm gonna play them, and being really good at all the just like super basic stuff. And then once you have like the basic stuff down, then it's like, oh, you actually get to do the cool thing where it's like you could, beat people in the way that you want to beat them, right? And I think that something that Direct Fox told me is he was like, you don't need to like, you're not gonna have any fun playing your game against bad players, right? Like it's not gonna work that way. Just beat them up, and then once you play better players, then you get to actually do the thing where it's like, oh, I'm playing like against this player. I'm looking for I'm paying attention to his habits, I'm picking up on his timings and all that stuff. You have to save it, but you need your baseline to be strong enough to actually engage in that with the better players.
Yeah. That's what it's all about, right? I feel like that just yeah, I think I'm just like I think I'm just getting to a point where like the players I'm trying to play against are just like a lot harder. It's just like baseline melee that I need to have is just
It's got
so
to
much
bring it
harder
up.
to
Yeah.
beat.
I mean, I've been through the same thing. I remember for the longest time, I was like, I am a top 50 player in the world, and I'm struggling to beat. It's not like I'm struggling to beat noobs, but it's like they are not just like
I
I
can't like
blink and they're
autopilot through
dead.
them.
Yeah, it's like I still have to like try and not be stupid, but it's like that just meant that the little random situations that just kind of happen, I was not good enough at those to be able to just like be better than them in. It's like I was
Mm,
better than them in every situation I played intentionally, but it wasn't like the way that I played or approached the game did not innately follow like Melee's rules. And so then it's like if I play against the noob and we end up in a spot where it's like Melee rule number 2, don't up smash into that spacing. It just never do it. It would never work. It doesn't make sense. And then I'm like,
I'm a
I do
bad
something
player.
like
I'm
that to read
almost
it.
there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like I think I don't have the most like elegant way to explain this, but I do think that you have to like I think viewing the game against like worst players or the lower level melee from what you currently play at least. You just have to see it as like you get to do this, you don't get to do that. And like viewing it as not necessarily black and white, but as basically as possible. And then trying your hardest not to actually engage with those parts of the game. Because the more that you engage, the more little Timmy, the random fox that goes 0-2, gets to like win a singular interaction. Whereas
Yeah.
if he was playing against, Cody Schwab would just be like, there's just I do not have any reason to ever be aggressive in this spot because XYZ is the case.
Yeah.
I don't have any super specific, I guess maybe they'll come up, but I don't have any super specific thoughts, but I think just keeping in mind that like maybe when you go back and you watch yourself against like worse players or maybe even better players and just look at what went wrong and try and come to like a broad conclusion rather than like, oh well, I should have up smashed instead of drilled. It's like, okay, sure. Try and have like a broader takeaway where it's like, I do not ever need to be in that space on the screen.
I, I guess what my real question comes down to is like have you ever felt like I feel like I'm always like this is gonna sound so it all sounds like a little head ass, but I've just been thinking about it a lot. But like I feel like I am always trying to like outplay the other player based on their game, and I never like make people like
Mm-hmm.
try and like do that against me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
It
I
feels like a one-sided affair where it's like, all right, like this one player is like, let's see how this one player plays, and let me like chill and assess, and then beat them for it. It's not like deal with my good options. Like I
mm-hmm.
never can just make people deal with my good options because I think I have a really poor grasp on that, or maybe one that's just maybe not a poor grasp, but one that's just not up to snuff when I'm playing against good players.
Mm-hmm. I have felt that exact feeling before. I for the longest time I felt like this I am not like me being on the screen does not change how this player feels about what could happen
Yes,
in this match. They're just
yes,
gonna do their thing. And I think so there's a few ways to approach it. I think you could decide that I'm just gonna do my own thing and then pick options you like that are good and then go through with it and just kind of like exert yourself over the other person. I don't think that's the most fulfilling for me personally, and I feel like based off what you have said, probably wouldn't be the most fulfilling for you either. But I think you also could do the thing where you learn enough about like the basic, you know, kind of not the best options. You learn as much as you can about those to the point where like it feels like you have a sixth sense and you just like know that the person's gonna do that. And I
yeah.
think that part's harder. It's harder, but I think if you find fulfillment in it, it might be more valuable than going with the other path.
Yeah, I talk about this all the time about how it feels like the come up very much feels like a philosophical like journey where it's like what kind of like melee philosophy do I want to subscribe to? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like clearly like it is one thing to like play fucking Fox like Jet is, and another to be like the fucking double laser dash dance on the other side of the stage Fox. Like clearly those are just like those two things are just extremely incongruent and like you just like can't really do both, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like kind of what I've talked about earlier about like the kind of Fox I want to be. I feel like I've spec'd really hard and put like all my energy into like that like one side of like Panda that we talked about where it's like you know, I want to be really intentional and like really look at the screen and like really have that like skill to like assess and like adapt and like exploit people for what they're doing. But like if someone is just like if someone tells me like if someone looks at a situation and they're like, "Yeah, you just need to like spam like just like spam good options here." I get fucking lost. And I actually this lines up exactly. We were literally talking about fucking Ganon the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Um and Jake, I was playing against Jake's Ganon because he's Falcon, he's got a good Ganon, and he's just like, yo, like I just don't think like you realize that like you get me in this spot, you literally can just like spam aerials at me and like I can do nothing. And I start trying to do that, and I'm like immediately I'm like losing that against Ganon, and it's like, yeah, dude, like you're just like spamming that shit wrong. I think just like the grasp of like, because like I know exactly what he's talking about, and I see it fucking happen every time a good player just runs over a Ganon. But like when someone asks me like spam short hop aerials like near the other person intelligently. Like the fucking spot where I'm drilling, I'm supposed to nair. The spot where I'm supposed to fade in, I'm fading out. And like that just like that general sense of like just like being able to kind of like abuse Fox's speed and like spam tech skill is just something that I've like almost like avoided doing for some reason. And like now I'm like realizing that like it is not something that I should have maybe pushed off that hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've had
I don't
that
know.
exact same experience. I think that's very real. Okay, I have
Playing
thoughts,
tricks with my
but
brain.
I need to go to the bathroom really quickly, and then I'll get back. 1 second.
You're good.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Um.
You're good.
Okay, what I have to say is I've had the exact experience where someone's like, "You just gotta mash buttons, man. Like, just once you get to that spot, you can start get to you get to do whatever you want." And it just has never like computed in my brain. It's never made any sense. I'm like, "What do you mean? Just spam buttons?" But
Yeah.
the workaround that I found is, I think, to make it make sense for you, what you need to do is to find that spot where it's like, oh, you get to mash buttons now, and like try and look at it kind of as like individual kind of sequences where it's like, okay, well, I get to the good spot and it's like, well, Ganondorf gets to like he gets the jab. That's all he gets to do. He gets the jab. And so then it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I know he's gonna jab. What's my button that would like interact well with jab? And it's like, oh, I just get to do a delayed nair. And you need to like think of the whole like mashing button spot as kind of like the progression through those little like trials, I guess. It's like, okay, I know he's gonna jab, then that means I get to nair shine safely, and then like back air, and if he shields my shine, then that means, oh well, he only gets to do these things, and then I get to mash him that way. Like you need to like apply concrete situations that are common in those spots to them, so you could like think of it in the way that makes sense to you while getting the same result of I'm just nair shining the Ganondorf, you know?
Yeah, dude. It's that's the thing. Like I feel like everyone has like their inherent strengths and weaknesses, and like I feel like, dude, like I was just like I feel like I was like I came out the gate playing neutral, and I came out the gate being so bad at tech skill.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt like if you watch like baby vods of me, it's like you could tell that I'm like looking at the screen and like trying, you know what I'm saying, and
Yeah.
like trying to like make decisions and like outplay, but like I could like my tech skill was like literally like there are people playing for a month that like looked better than me when I've been playing for 6. Like just
Mm-hmm.
constantly that's like been like the story of like my like where my strengths and weaknesses are. I don't know. I feel like this has been more of like a general sort of like Fox like mind cube lesson, but it's still kind of good because I feel like this sort of set and this player was like really like emblematic and like representative of like a lot of like general holes that I've been thinking about that have been
Mm-hmm.
kind of like bothering me with my gameplay.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like I'm like not like satisfied with how I play, even with even when I win sometimes. You know.
Mm-hmm. I think the important thing to take away from this lesson, if anything, is just that like are the overarching perspectives. That we talked about specific things, we talked about, specific ways you could think about things, but like the important part is that when you take a step back, those things exist as like overarching ideals that you could like apply to other portions of the game where it's like, oh, you know, using the example of thinking differently about or having a different approach to like when people say just smash or something. That is like a key thing for when you come to like situations where people say things that don't like click, you can rework the essence of what they say into something that will make sense for you. And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's an important overarching takeaway. And I think there's a lot of those in here where it's like, oh well, you know, if I'm having trouble with a certain archetype of fox, there are clearly things that they do and they're gonna trend towards doing that like let them lose because it's not like they're Armada, they lose to people, right? And so it's like
Yeah, of course.
clearly there's gaps. And so then I just need to view it in the way where like what are the key points where those types of things happen and then try and make some sort of connection. And I think for Melee overall, this is a really important lesson is more so than anything, at least in my experience of getting better, I think I improved the most when I got to the point where I was able to make a bunch of connections between different things that was able to streamline my thinking. And now it's like
Mhm.
at this point at in my career, it's like I view situations as like groups rather than like, and I have specific things I do within those groups, but there's a certain way that that group exists and I'm going to interact with it. And then all the options that I would put into that group all align with the overarching identity of that group, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
No. That makes sense. That makes sense. This good. I talked to him and he said like, oh, like I'm down to like watch this set with you and like tell you what I was thinking, and it's gonna be like I'm gonna listen to him and I'm gonna be annoyed because I'm gonna be like, why the fuck is this like all that your brain thinks? And like, how is this what's going through your brain and like that's what's coming out of your hands? Like
mhm.
but, like it's yeah. I need to figure it out part of me just wants to, fucking maybe like I just don't play any melee for the next month and spend 4 hours fucking solo practicing, doing everything frame one, and then just see what happens.
I think that's a very
But I
good
don't
thing to
know.
do. For what it's
Huh?
worth, I think solo practicing might be the most important part of melee, and I don't think that reflects how everyone has gotten good at melee. Because I think most people get good at melee through playing, but obviously I'm biased and I'm speaking from my experience. But the fact that I have spent an insane amount of time solo practicing and doing whatever, that is like maybe 75-80% of my growth overall.
I think I want to solo practice more, but I think what it really is I want to do it like creatively. Like
Yes.
I think the way that I've solo practiced has like put me has like kind of like routinized the way that I move around the stage.
Mm-hmm.
It's made my tricks very very one dimensional. So like I want to figure out how to have like that fluidity when I'm moving around the stage and like also be frame one out of everything and like have like those higher levels cuz like there's just one thing like look like you play a fox and you're just not going to assume that they have like dash pivot up tilts like that. And then when fucking I'm playing Jet and he fucking dash pivot up tilts me in neutral, I'm like what the fuck just happened, man? Like and like
Mm-hmm.
that is just like so powerful. It's so powerful and like they're like there's real utility to it, even though it's something that so many foxes can get like top 100, top 50 with without doing.
Yeah.
And I think I just or like I don't know if you watched Panda Jmook. I don't know if you watched that set.
Well,
Um,
I did not watch it, but
that set's crazy. You should watch it. It's like I know you're like a Fox should like camp chic person, but like you watch that set and you're like you definitely don't have to camp chic. That's like the takeaway.
I mean, I don't think you
Um,
have to. I don't think you have to camp Sheik. I just think Sheik has a lot of really good tools against Fox.
Yeah, it's scary, right? But like, I watch him play that shit, and I'm like, you do not have to fucking camp Sheik, dude. He's fucking charging smash attacks and fucking gaming everywhere. But like on FOD, he does the like full dash like PC drop thing that you can do because of the grass in the corner,
Yeah.
and that's just like part of how he moves around the stage. And I'm like, I think like a million of those things that you have in your gameplay just like makes people that much more like freaked out when they're playing you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like one gimmick is a gimmick, but like 50 gimmicks is just like dude, like how are you gonna figure out like 50 well integrated mixed up gimmicks, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know.
No, I mean, I think that makes sense. I agree. I think one thing, a trap that people fall into with solo practice is they think solo practice is like rigid. And I don't know if that's how you feel about it, but I don't think I solo practice where it's like I ledge dash for 30 minutes, I practice blah 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 for 25. It's like solo practice is literally I'm sitting on the screen and I'll have general points of things I want to think about. Maybe I'll do character control and I'm like, I just want to look at that spot on the stage and I want to get there and make sure I land there every single time, no matter what buttons I press. And if I can't land there, that probably means my buttons don't let me go there. And so I have a different idea of character control. I know my limits more, blah, blah, blah. Or it's like, I am maybe I'll do specific situations, but the entire time I'm doing those situations where it's like I'm practicing a reaction, I'm always thinking like what is important. And then maybe I'll be like, oh wait, maybe I could do that. And I fuck around with it and I go deep. Or it's like if I'm practicing, oh, I'm practicing doing full hop double jump waveline on side platforms, I'll fuck around with it and do a bunch of different variations with it just to like see what happens. And then by doing that, I both get reps in a bunch of different ways to move. I also have a broader idea of what I could do, and it opens up my options more or whatever. And I think like one thing that I've always experienced in solo practice, I don't know if this goes for everyone, but literally every single time I've ever solo practiced, ever in my entire melee career, I learned something. And I think that is more irrelevant for the fact that like when you're solo practicing, you can do it in a way where you're actively expanding upon the thing that you have rather than like and
Yeah.
also well like working on the things that you need to work on, but you could also expand and build. And that's why I guess I have the position where I think solo practicing is so important or whatever. And I think if you could
Yeah,
find
no.
something that works for you where it's like I get to do these things I need, I get to do these things I want, I can build upon my foundation and strengthen my foundation, whatever. If you could find a way to work it out that is fluid and matches your needs, then I think that would help a lot.
No, yeah. I like part of why I didn't have a lesson in June was because I was like, I have a lot of like tournaments that I'm competing in, and I have like patchwork and I have like tipped off, and I felt like I didn't really need to get like caught in the weeds. Like I felt like I didn't really need to like slowly analyze a VOD. I was like, I don't think that's like what I need right now. So I kind of just like entered a fuck ton of tournaments and played a lot of melee and played a lot of good people, and now like this is the end of that kind of like sprint for now. Like
Hmm.
I have Warehouse War, and then I don't think I'm like traveling for anything until maybe like don't park on the grass.
Hmm.
So I have like a huge portion of just like being in the trenches, and like trying to like do the work, without really getting the like reward of like a good win or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I I think like I kind of needed to like take a step back and get a lot of these like general thoughts out.
Hmm.
I think what I want to do for my next lesson this month after this lesson, because of everything we talked about, is I think I kind of just want to like try and solo practice creatively and like really get into that for like a week or two and see what I come up with,
Yeah.
and then have a lesson with you where we literally just like go and Uncle Punch and talk about solo practicing, like you know in a more sophisticated way, right? Or in a
Hmm.
more like, I don't need to fucking practice ledge dashing every day. I don't need to practice, like 10 minutes of RTC or like I don't like do like I don't get anything out of practicing chain grabbing. Like I go into Uncle That's the thing where I'm at. Like I go into Uncle Punch and I'm like, why am I chain grabbing a fox right now? This really doesn't feel like the issue with my gameplay. Like,
Yeah.
or like stuff like that. Or it's like like I don't quite understand how to use the tool of like Uncle Punch to like really practice this like specific thing that I'm worried about.
Hmm.
So I think I'm gonna try to fuck around in Uncle Punch really hard for like a week or so, and then maybe get a lesson, and like I really just want to like go in there and like talk about like, all right, this is the stuff that I want to get good at. How should I practice it? And then just do that for like a long time and see
Yeah.
where I end up.
I think that is a very good idea. Um,
Okay.
yeah. Uh,
Th- this was one of the more productive, not really looking at a VOD lessons for sure.
nice. That's good. I'm glad you felt that way.
Word.
Uh,
Okay.
okay. Wait, one thought is I think you covered on it, but I do think just with your solo practice, just know you only need to practice things you're bad at. You never have to like the way that it works with like doing things is you have to do very little actual maintenance. The only maintenance that matters is when you slightly feel it like slipping, you know? Most of the time,
Yeah.
once you got it and it's like something you've been doing for a while, you have it. You don't have to like go back to it. And just know
No.
that only do new things. Only do things that you need to like actually practice because you can't
Oh
shit.
yeah. Recently, I've been like, oh man, I don't really need to practice tech chasing. I just kind of like game and I tech chase. And then sometimes I'm like, I'm like bad on covering like tech and plates on platform. And then I'll practice that for like 10 minutes and it's fine.
Yep.
You know.
That's literally all you need to do. It's like, oh, I'm messing that up. I guess I'll go practice it for a while and like regain whatever little random thing about it that you had like lost, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And then I'm just sitting there and I'm like, well, I guess I'll ledge dash more. And it's just like, I don't know. Yeah, dude. I'm gonna like make a list of things that I'm really bad at, or like advanced techs that like I just can't do at all, and just figure them out. Like maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what I come up with.
Okay,
But
nice.
this was good.
Okay, well, if you have any questions about solo practicing, I have a lot of thoughts. If you need,
Yeah, I'm
ask.
I'm also like the worst save state person ever. I live with a save state freak because Miles is a save state freak.
Hmm.
But I am so like they're just like I just don't use them. And every time I talk to Miles about it, he's like, just make save states over and over and over again. And I'm like, that just like does not sound like my vibe. But like, I'm sure to some degree I need to figure them out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you want to talk about it, we can. Just honestly, we could either do it here or just in DMs or whatever. But I have a lot of thoughts on safe states. I think people use them in weird ways, and I think they're really intuitive once you like get the first step down.
Yeah, it's more about like I don't know if they like I don't know for the kinds of situations where I feel like I want a save state. I don't know if save states are like really intuitive to use, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna try. Yeah, I have too many like not routinized thoughts on this, so I think we're good to call it here. And then when I have more concrete thoughts, I will like then come here with like a list of things to discuss and about solo practicing.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right.
All right,
All right.
have a good rest of your week. I'll talk to you later.
Yep. Peace out.